Record, sound, check. Camera number 2.
It's grammar time.
Are you ready for grammar?
Is anybody ever ready for grammar? Believe it or not, there are a lot of things in Portuguese that are easier than in other languages, like English.
What?
The next thing we're going to talk about is not one of them.
Okay.
To say the in English, how many words are there?
1.
There's one.
The.
The. Doesn't matter if you're talking about one item or two items, but in Portuguese we have to worry about first if it's a masculine or feminine noun, and then we have to worry about the quantity.
In European Portuguese, well, in Portuguese in general, everything has a gender.
Yeah, if you've studied French or Spanish, the same thing. We have to make sure that the adjectives and the articles are always agreeing with the noun that they describe. First, we're going to learn how to say the boy, the girl, the man, the woman.
Definite articles.
Definitely.
So, a menina. A menina. The girl. Singular, feminine. You have o menino.
O menino.
So, o is the definite article for masculine and singular nouns. So, a for feminine, o for masculine.
A lot of the time, a masculine noun will end in O if it's masculine, just like the article O. And then a lot of the time, the feminine words will end in A.
Yeah.
So there's lots of exceptions, but that's just a quick way that you can use to remember whether it's
Yeah.
O or A that you have to use as the.
Menina and menino are good examples because menina ends with a, menino ends with a O. The next two are not that easy. You just have to memorize them. Homem, the word for man. It doesn't end on an O or on an A. You just have to remember that it's a masculine noun. So it's a masculine, singular. What definite article are you going to use, Joel?
O.
O.
Just like with o menino, we have o homem.
Homem. What about mulher? It doesn't end with an A.
No, but we just have to memorize it and know that it's feminine because it's woman. So we would say a mulher.
O homem, a mulher.
And that's a very hard sound to make for mulher, the LH.
Oh, yeah. Mulher.
Glea,
Yeah.
glea.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like you're saying Leah, but then smushing it together. Glea. Most of the time in Portuguese, you can just add an S to the end of a word to make it plural, or more than one. So if we take the examples of boy and girl,
Menina will be meninas.
and if we want to say the girls, then we can't just say a meninas.
No.
We also have to pluralize the definite article.
It turns into as meninas. Remember the S sounds more like a sh.
Yeah, shh.
As meninas.
If we want to pluralize boy, then we don't say o meninos. We have to say,
Os meninos.
you got that?
You got that?
So there you go. Just an example of when Portuguese is not as easy as English. In English, we have the, and then in Portuguese, we have o, a, os, as.
I'm sorry.
That's life.
Yep.
There will be some things that will be easier in Portuguese than in English.
Like what?
I can't think of an example.
A menina. O homem. O homem. O homem. O homem. A mulher. As mulheres.
O menino. O menino.
O menino.
O menino.
Young children seem to absorb new languages like sponges. Adults, on the other hand, we convince ourselves that we'll never become fluent in a language like Portuguese, and then we get stuck in this victim mindset. It is true that children have their own strengths when it comes to learning, but as adults, we also have a secret weapon: experience. We already have years of experience adapting to new situations and new contexts. If we don't know how to say something in Portuguese, we can make an educated guess by converting a word over from another language that shares Latin roots, like English or any of the Romance languages. Adults, we're good at problem solving, like using body language or alternative phrasing during a conversation. And while studying, we can use effective memory techniques and our years of positive study habits to our advantage. Adults are also better at researching, analyzing, and taking ownership over the learning process. We take notes when we come across something important. We ask questions and seek out related information when we're challenged. And we know ourselves better than a child does. We know what works for us and what doesn't. And we're often more resilient when faced with new challenges. So anytime that you feel frustrated while learning Portuguese, just remember, as adults, we also have many strengths that come from years of experience in building other types of habits and skills that can be used to your advantage.